So this is video 4 for week 4. We're going to talk about the Copyright Act. These slides are this video is going to cover the Copyright Act. So copyright is ownership of works of the mind. And there's special rules about ownership about works of the mind as compared to works like a castle. So I put on here, works of the mind are different than property like a castle. If you own a castle, you can sell it, you can leave it in your will for your children to inherit. It's yours forever and ever in your family. You can pass it down generation after generation. But works of the mind are different. You only hold on to ownership and control over that work for a certain period of time, and that's called the length of the copyright. So we do give people, we want to give them the incentive to create with their ideas. So whether it's writing a new program or creating a work of art, writing a book, we do want people to do that, and that's why we protect their rights, and we want them to have control over them, and we want them to be able to make money from them. Otherwise, what's the incentive maybe? But we also want to balance that with the rights of users, the people that want to use those copyrighted things. So that's what the Copyright Act tries to do, is balance the rights of creators and users. So go through these slides and hopefully they'll help you understand a little bit more about what copyright is. Okay. And then we're going to move right into a copyright license. So after you own something or you create something, it's automatically copyrighted to you. And so you can choose to license your copyrighted work of your brain so that other people can access it. And so people do that obviously with software, with books, with databases. And you can set terms of how people can use your copyrighted work in your license. So most things that are owned and have some value, people create license and license them for use. But users, sometimes you don't have to have a license sometimes to use things if you're going to be using something that's copyrighted for fair dealing. In Canada, we call it fair dealing. And what fair dealing does is it allows users, so the people that didn't create the book, didn't write the article, didn't write the code, to use the work for purposes of what I've highlighted. Okay, so what does it mean though that they're going to deal with it in a way that's fair? So some of this has been tested in courts because that's how laws work in Canada, is until the copyright holder and the user disagree and challenge and go to court and ask the court to decide, there maybe isn't something specifically written out in the law. So that's how come in Canada we have case law. So this, based on some of the things that have been tried in courts, this is what is typically considered to be fair use of copyright protected work. And now I'm talking specifically about written work. Okay, so my examples here are from a book, or it could be a performance. Okay, so these are examples here from books to give you an idea. In an educational institution, so this is important for you as a student, there's some exemptions. So you're actually allowed to use copyrighted works. So think about your software that you use, or you're making a presentation and you want to include copyrighted clips of movies or music or things. Well, you're allowed to do some things because you're in education that you wouldn't be allowed to do if it was for a commercial reason. So read through these slides about licenses, gives you some more examples of licenses and what a license looks like. Okay, and how a license would work. And this is an example of a database that maybe the Toronto Star would license for use by journalists. Okay. Again, some terms. What is a digital lock? Don't tell me that you know how to get around them, because you shouldn't be getting around them. And this is what I meant about the non-commercial user-generated content that would be an exception, especially in education. Again, public domain. Take a look at what this term means. So you have an understanding of how you can use materials or assign works that you create so that everybody can access them without requiring a license or permission. And when you think you know what I want you to know about the Copyright Act, please complete this check for understanding. Thanks.